All right, intro.
Should memorize it.
Hello, friends and fiends. Welcome to I should. I probably could do it without it, but here we are. I like the comfort of the words. All right. Hello, friends and fiends. Welcome to Bugs Need Heroes, a podcast where an artist and an entomologist team up to illustrate the inspiring abilities of insects by creating bug-themed superheroes. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Kelly.
Producer Derek and Desdemona are also here. Before we get started creating this bug-inspired hero, what's bugging you, Kelly?
Oh, Amanda, how can anything be bugging me today on the day of your birth? Happy
The day of
birthday! Yeah. I'm
is, in fact,
excited.
my
My
birthday.
co-host and my dear friend was born today, and I get to long distance celebrate that with you by recording a podcast.
Yeah. You think you'd sleep in on your birthday, but my children crawled into my bed about 20 minutes before my alarm was set to go off to whisper happy birthday into my
Oh,
ear.
that's so cute.
As I said, I got this nice pony bead necklace from my son.
Very pretty.
Apparently it was entirely his idea. He saw the pony beads at his grandmother's house and came to whisper into Daddy's ear, "Can we make a necklace for Mommy for her birthday?" And there was subterfuge to make sure that they got it done for me.
Aw, that's nice.
It's funny because he hasn't been to kindergarten yet, so the adorable but not really functional art craft isn't really a thing he's experienced yet because he hasn't been to kindergarten. But
he knew to make you a necklace, so that's cool.
He knew. And it is one bead, two beads, three beads, four beads. So he had a little.
Oh, he's got a little theme going on. He's got
math brains. He's got math brains. There's nothing I can do about it. He'll have to get math help from his dad, not from me. I don't have math brains.
I know as a scientist, people assume I have math brains, and I don't, not really. My husband, the programmer, he's got math brains. So he helps me when I have trouble with that stuff.
I was good at math until about 5th grade, till fractions showed up. Because I was sick the day fractions were introduced, to the class. And I forever felt like I didn't quite grasp fractions because I had missed that very first day.
Oh no!
I never caught up, But
I'm all right with.
Here I am
with a lot of math. I think it's really just having to learn new statistical analyses from my research has been a little bit of a time. But now everything you just put it in Python and it does it for me, so it's not too bad. I just have to learn Python.
I hear that's not cute. I hear Python's the worst, but I don't know because I literally don't know. The only thing I use math for these days is for crochet projects.
Oh.
And I need to show you what I have accidentally done.
Yeah, I would love to see.
So I was trying to crochet a neck pillow, just around your neck.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like an airplane?
Yes, precisely, for comfort. For my dear sister who hopefully doesn't hear this part before Christmas. The problem is I wanted to use a comfortable yarn, and the comfortable yarn is bigger. And so I was following the pattern and just trying to adjust for size. And I did not follow through entirely. I should have followed through entirely because what should have been a neck pillow, this is meant to be one leg of the neck pillow.
It's big.
It's quite large.
It's quite large, yeah.
But I wonder if you could tell what it eventually hopes to be.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, great.
Maybe having a big one will be more comfortable.
Last night I was doing some math because I was I gotta reduce it because I reduced it kind of by a third, and I should have reduced it by half. So I was quickly doing can I restart and still get it done? Do I just commit to the bit at this point? It's just gonna be huge, and that's fine. So I've committed to the bit.
Can you just make it a little shorter now, even though it's wide?
Theoretically, but like then the
It
two
won't
sides
sit right.
match. Yeah. So I think I'm just gonna commit to the bit, and it's gonna be a boppy sized head pillow.
Can't you do like an off centered color on the one arm?
Yeah. I think what I'm gonna end up doing is
Pretend it's artistic.
I'm just gonna finish the big version, and then I might just make a smaller version and hope that the timing on that works out. We're at that beautiful time of year where everyone's scrambling for gifts, so all my ads are like very targeted.
Christmas?
Yeah.
I can't believe it. In my building, they put up, there's full Christmas decorations, and it's too soon. We haven't even had Thanksgiving yet. It hurts. It hurts me. But yeah, it's not even Thanksgiving yet, and my building has a menorah and 2 Christmas trees and a bunch of poinsettias downstairs already. It's too soon.
We actually have our Christmas tree up, but I'm not to blame. I'm not to blame because we got a screaming deal on it. And so I was like, yeah, you just got to buy it now because it's.
Oh, do you do a real tree?
No, it is a fake tree,
Fake tree.
which I know living in the Pacific Northwest is like close to sacrilege around here because it's like where the trees grow. You have to buy a real tree. But like they're dang old expensive. I can't imagine what people are paying in non-tree areas of the world for a real Christmas tree.
Yeah, we do a plastic tree too, mostly because I don't want my cats eating pine needles because they'll eat everything. And Finn will try to climb it, and it's too much. Well, a one-eyed, three-legged cat trying to climb a real tree is something.
That's like a Christmas song. It's like the sequel to like the one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater. You're like, it's a one-eyed, three-legged cat trying to climb a Christmas tree. You could write a book. You could write a children's book about poor old Finn trying to climb the Christmas tree.
Put it on our children's book list that you and I will be creating at some point.
All right. Well, speaking of Christmas, we're doing this very special episode of Bugs Need Heroes, a Christmas. You gotta sing this. The requisite song is "Christmas time is here again."
Oh God!
Christmas
the peanuts.
time is here. We don't care much for the Christmas special, but that Halloween special makes my son laugh every single time when poor Charlie Brown goes, "I got rock." He says it all year round. All year round. I got rock.
Oh, I'm not a Peanuts fan. Sorry, listeners. That'll probably put me in internet jail. But I'm just not a fan.
Watch it because my husband's mother loves Peanuts, so it has like introduced itself into our world via grandmas. Anyway, speaking of Christmas, she's eating her cat Go-Gurt. Nom nom.
My cats love the cat Go-Gurt. We gotta just share on Instagram a video of Desi eating Go-Gurt now. She's so cute.
Rotunda's the one who eats it at a speed that has previously been undiscovered by man. She
inhales it
down. Yeah, she thinks about eating it and it's gone.
It sprays everywhere because she's licking so fast.
Oh no, that's gross. Well,
anyway, speaking of Christmas,
speaking of gifts,
the gifts that keep on giving, bugs.
So we're covering 2 Christmassy, or I guess Christmassy themed
wintry
bugs today. Yeah. So one, we're taking a trip to the land down under.
Down under.
I was waiting for someone to do an accent. I'm not going to do it. I don't think I can.
Bluey, I can do it.
I don't think I can do maybe like down under. Down under a little bit. Yeah, my I know Australia for the Crocodile Hunter, Chris Hemsworth and his brothers, and Kylie Minogue, I think, is Australian. Yes, yeah. So we got a lot of good stuff coming out of Australia. Plus, my friend Michael, who listens, Michael the pilot. Love you, buddy. So, I'm
not hearing any huge negatives here.
No,
so far,
no negatives. And I'd say that the Christmas beetle, which is the bug we're covering today, is also a pretty rad little dude. Have you heard of these before, Amanda?
I don't think so. I think the only time I've heard of them before is when we've discussed, like, should we do a Christmas episode last year? And now we're back to do a Christmas episode.
Yeah, they're called Christmas beetles because they really come out around Christmas time in Australia, and they love
Because they're on the opposite hemisphere of us, right?
right
We're
southern hemisphere.
So their summer is our winter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's warm in Australia now while it's getting cold here.
Right.
Okay, just making sure we're all on
Yeah.
the same page, bug-wise. It would be weird to have hotness at Christmas time. It would be especially weird because they still consume Western media. So they're still watching snowy Christmas. I assume they must have like a cottage industry of Christmas movies set in Australia so that it's warm outside.
They must. I'm sure they do. Right.
Australians, please shout out. Let me know if there's Christmas movies that are set in Australia so that it's warm outside.
Do they have like we have Lifetime, and it's just a stream of Christmas movies all set in Canada,
and it has exploded in recent years. I feel like there used to be like 1 or 2 Christmas Hallmark Channel movies, and now it's like October 30th, they're announcing the list of 65 new Christmas movies.
I don't watch
Prepare your eye holes.
My best friend Jeff loves these Christmas movies, and he makes his wife watch them, and he watches them because they're terrible. That's the thing.
They're just
horribly acted,
salty, crackery, in your mouth with no nutrition at all.
It's got what's her name? Cameron from Full House. She's in a bunch of them.
Oh yeah, she did a bunch. She did a bunch of like keeping the G and Jesus Christmas movies. My mother also loves them. She, there's not a lot of deep emotions, but like it's like surface level emotions of like, I'm sad that Christmas was ruined this year, but not like, like deep stuff. Because watching the movie that Christmas won't be ruined. No. It'll be fine, actually.
Well, it's always like woman is too dedicated to her career, has to go home to small podunk town and falls in love with a dude she went to high school with.
Always. That's like the quintessential one. That's the Christmas Hallmark movie. And like at this point they're like starting to like play with that trope and see how they can subvert expectations, which I think is like, I think you could write a whole dissertation on like the evolution of Christmas movies and how they reflect modern culture and how they flip tropes on their head. Like The Christmas Prince is the most Christmas movie that's ever happened. And they turned it into like a whole series. And every single one was like, bam, 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 Christmas movies. And I was like, I'm in. Like she's riding on a horse. And I'm like, oh man, she's riding on that horse. I hope wolves don't show up. And then you know what happens? Wolves show up. And you're like, oh no, the wolves.
The wolves show up in an area where no wolves exist.
Exactly. They're in like because it's always like this teeny tiny little previously undiscussed country that exists in this alternate Christmas universe.
Yeah.
They live in this eensy weensy like 100-kilometer country that's basically just one town. It's basically
Liechtenstein.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're all named things like Liechtenstein too. They're all Sarkovia, Moldovia, Christmas in Stein, they're all stuff like that because they're clearly doing a Christmas.
Mentioned this before, but I've been to Liechtenstein and I'm pretty sure their prince waved at me from the castle window.
It's funny. Liechtenstein gets like cited in one of my favorite like radio plays, The Princess of Liechtenstein, ends up like being a regular character, and I'm always like, are you allowed to do this? Are you allowed to just like make up a princess for a whole country and then put her in your radio play?
Well, we do have so producer Derek mentioned that Christmas Beetle can be our hometown hunk for this episode.
He's running around pronouncing things nar. That's the big thing on TikTok is the Australians say no as nar.
Is nar. I like their rhyming slang. So Australians have rhyming slang, which is very cool.
The way Australians choose to nickname things is so good.
They have the best nicknames.
They have the best nicknames for things because they're like, oh no, I gotta think of something serious that they think, like dollars become dollary dues. Going down to get some chippies or go everything's oohs and e's, and I'm like, I'm on board.
It's great. It just seems like everyone's having fun. I guess if we're going to generalize an entire country, at least we're doing it in a positive way.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Australia.
We're working purely on stereotype alone here.
Yeah, we're big fans. But the Christmas beetle, so they named this little beetle. It comes in these beautiful iridescent colors. It can be green or brown or like a golden color. And they, like most beetles, like all beetles, they go through egg, larva, pupa, adult. But all this is happening throughout the spring and summer, and they emerge as adults around Christmas. And what I was reading about was they love to swarm Christmas lights. They're like really attracted to the lights. So if you put a bunch of Christmas lights up around your house in Australia, particularly the eastern coast of Australia, you'll get a bunch of Christmas beetles.
They're coming for your lights. See, looking at them, I would have thought they're not around Christmas, and they're kind of shiny and bright.
Yeah, they're shiny.
Little jingle bells. They themselves are the lights, but it's funny that they actually are attracted to the lights as well. Yeah. They're like, no, I'm the light of this house.
They're pretty big. They're 2 to 3 centimeters, which is like 8 to 1.25 inches.
So they're big old boys. I was thinking they were going to be like
little guys,
a little like stink bug sized.
Oh, okay.
They're big old boys.
Yeah, they're big. They're cute. They like eucalyptus trees. So if you're in Australia and you want to find Christmas beetles, you can do that by looking for eucalyptus woodlands. I think they're in a particular park in Sydney too.
You gotta watch out for drop bears though, if you're gonna eucalyptus trees.
Yeah, worry about the drop bears. You don't want to deal with those. Although they're probably so used to it, they don't care. And they are terrible flyers. If you remember stag beetle,
always these big old chunky boys just cannot fly. Bless their hearts.
They remind me, looking at them and being obviously from North America, they remind me of June beetles.
Yes, yeah, they have that same very June beetle. I'd say it's the classic
because they're scarabs. They're
scarab shape. They're round with that beautiful. I can never say the word carapace.
Carapace, you got it.
Yes. It's
because it's your birthday. You said it correctly.
Yes, I am blessed on this day to be able to say carapace. But there's a classic, cute little beetle shape, and I'm looking at pictures of them, and they're quite iridescent. They're white, gold, and green, and brown.
And cute.
They're a cute little bug. I would be okay with these guys showing up around. Oh, here's one on a Santa hat. That's adorable.
This wouldn't bother you if you got a bunch of these guys around in your house around Christmas?
I'm sure it would annoy me.
Well, not in your house, but like on your house. Yeah.
Around, but I'd go hunting for these dudes if I was in Australia at Christmas. I'd go find some.
What's really cool is there's an app. I put a link to it in the show notes, so Derek will put that on the website. But I believe the Australian Museum has created an app that will help you identify them. So you can take your kids out and go look for these beetles and put them in the app. And it probably helps scientists to locate kind of where the beetles are.
Right. I just happened to click on this article, and it sounds like the Christmas beetle is like our woolly bear, in that people used to see them all the time as kids, and now they're adults going, where are all the Christmas beetles?
Which is so sad, because if you have like a bug associated or any animal associated with the holiday and it stops showing up, what a bummer for that holiday.
Bummer. But hopefully that they're out there. You're just not in the dirt like you were when you were a kid.
Well, they are in decline. At least sightings are in decline, and scientists are trying to kind of figure out what's going on with them. It's likely due to eucalyptus woodland decline, so habitat loss. Right. That's usually a killer for many species. As people expand out to build our homes and our shopping centers, we lose habitat.
And these guys are just, unfortunately, less cute than a koala. So eucalyptus is being replanted in places for koalas, not necessarily these guys.
For these little dudes. But I've another link in the show notes that'll show how our Australian friends and listeners, what you can do to help the populations of these beetles. So check that out. Apparently, I do not condone this, but they are edible. Please don't eat them, but you can eat them.
I dare say most bugs are edible if you're willing to give it a try. I feel like most bugs you could fry up in a pan and be like, here we go. I guess unless it's venomous. I don't know how.
Yeah, you don't want to eat something with a venom sac unless you can remove the venom sac safely and, go from there. But don't eat the Christmas beetle unless you're stranded out in the wilds of Australia and you have nothing else to eat. And it's Christmas time. Yeah.
You've gone back to your hometown. Unfortunately, it's been overrun by beetles. Your house that you never went back to ever since your family died in a horrible car crash, because Christmas movies sometimes are a little sad. So you neglected your home, and it was taken over by the Christmas beetles.
By the Christmas beetles.
To eat those beetles in revenge.
Oh, poor little beetles. But yeah, they don't have usually we talk about beetle superpowers. They've got good night vision. They're usually, you see them around at night, and like I said, they're attracted to your Christmas lights. They can fly poorly.
Sounds like he's just a dude. He's just a little beautiful dude.
Pretty little guy who hangs out around Christmas. He's got the armor of a scarab beetle. He can climb things. He's a basic beetle boy.
We love a basic beetle boy around here.
We do. But I just love that Australia has this cool little Christmas bug, essentially.
Where's the episode of Bluey where they find Christmas bugs?
Oh, they haven't mentioned Christmas beetles on Bluey yet?
No, but they did mention, so the Christmas episode of Bluey that so there's two Christmas episodes. There's one where Santa is on the veranda. He's a veranda Santa. And he gives gifts. But the other one is Christmas swim. Apparently that's a thing in Australia, because it's hot. So you open your Christmas presents and then you go get in the pool.
You go down to the beach and do a little Christmas swim. That's cool. I like that.
I mean, this is not at all. I don't know how Australians really live. This is just how they live on Bluey. This is my main source material.
Well, if we are Australian listeners, feel free to send us an email and tell us how you live.
Yeah, how do you celebrate Christmas in Australia? Let us know.
We're interested.
You wrap up your native trees and lights? I know. Okay, so that being said, I do remember a book I had as a kid. Or maybe my friend had, it doesn't matter. But it was about Santa taking vacation right after Christmas. Like, he delivers all the toys and then he goes on holiday. And I think
cute.
On holiday to Australia. Because I'm having memories of a palm tree wrapped in Christmas lights.
This feels familiar to me. Like, maybe, I don't think I've read this book, but I think maybe
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna send a picture of it to you. And you're like, that's the one.
Is there a surfboard involved, maybe?
Yeah. I feel like he gets sunburned at one point in the book because he's been laying on the beach and he's, used to the cold. Very cute.
Sorry, I
was just going to ask, how long do the Christmas beetles last?
So they can live for their total life cycle is about a year.
Okay.
As adults, about a month. So you see them for a month crawling around, eating eucalyptus. They spend their larval stage in the soil. So you won't see them until they're big shiny guys hanging out on your eucalyptus trees.
So you may be familiar with the Christmas movie. Speaking of Christmas movies, the Christmas Chronicles with our friend Kurt Russell as sexy Santa Claus.
I've not seen them, but I've seen the promo for quite sexy Kurt Russell Santa. Yeah.
Yes, he is. He is a Santa Claus who could still get it. But a fun fact: his real life lady wife, emotional wife, Goldie Hawn, plays Mrs. Claus in that. I think that's
very cute. Yeah,
so cute. But I love that first movie But the only problem with it is that the elves are bad. Sometimes people try to put an original spin on the elves, and it's always a mistake. That being said, can we make Christmas Beetle? We have two options here. We can make him
Oh,
a
okay.
hometown hunk, or we can make it we replace the elves at the North Pole with
Oh my
Christmas
God, with
Beetle.
Christmas Beetle. I love it. So the Christmas Beetle helps Santa pack up all the gifts.
Yes, I'm thinking he builds them because scarabs are often using their little arms to do
Little
things.
arms.
I think he's standing at the production line using all
Making
his
stuff.
multi-arms to make stuff. And then he's wearing a little jaunty hat at a jaunty angle.
I love it. Is he gonna have little shoes with bells?
Yes, I think he just needs to be like literally still a bug. Like he just is still the bugs. Like,
Yeah.
but he's the size of a child. That's what I want.
I like that. That's fun.
Sketching some bugs building.
Yeah, so you're gonna keep Beetle as Beetle.
He's just a beetle. He's just
for
big.
this. I like that. That's cute. Are you gonna involve Santa Claus? Are we gonna see Santa in the background?
I don't. Is Santa also a bug?
No, Santa's just Santa, but he's
Sorry,
surrounded
Derek,
by bugs.
Derek's upset with our twist in the premise.
So if we're going to do that, then let's switch to the next bug we wanted to talk about for this episode, and make a hero for them.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so what's the next guy? You just mentioned that we were going to do two, so we have Christmas Beetle. Before I get too deep into the lore here of what Christmas Beetle is up to, I need to see how he'll
love
interact
Christmas
with the
Beetle.
next
I'm into it.
he wants to be a dentist.
There are two types of hairstreak, which is a type of butterfly.
Okay, hold on. Say it again. It's a what?
It's called a hairstreak. Did I get a weird accent there? Sometimes I have.
No, I just wasn't
accent.
sure I was hearing you right because hair streak like I've dyed a funky color into my hair.
Yeah, just like that.
What?
So there's the greater purple hair streak and Johnson's hair streak. You're probably going to be more interested in the greater purple because Johnson's is a little bland. Yeah, I think Derek is putting photos in the Discord. The greater purple is very, very pretty.
Purple is such a... I feel like bugs have the corner on purple. There's not a lot of purple in the world that just shows up on animals. I really can't think of a single mammal.
No, it's just bugs and birds. We don't do purple.
Oh, they are beautiful though.
Mm-hmm. So these two species of butterfly, these hair streaks, depend solely on mistletoe for their life cycle. We love mistletoe for Christmas.
Yes. And where are these guys found? Are they being found in North America?
These are in the U.S.
Still in... Okay. Wow. This was a Colorado hair streak. It's very purple.
But, yeah, so they rely only on mistletoe for their whole life cycle, from eggs to adults. And I don't know, how much do you know about mistletoe as far as Christmas goes?
I know for Christmas, you're supposed to smooch under it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that in real life, it's not good for the trees it grows on.
Right.
It's like a life sucker.
a parasite.
A parasite. I was like worried that parasite wasn't the right, like parasitic, like wasn't quite the right. Because sometimes we fall into things where it's like, oh, I want to say that they're symbiotic, and people are like, oh no, they just work together, but they're not symbiotic. And I'm like, what's the hard line of like what becomes symbiotic? So I wasn't sure if they were parasitic or if they were just not good.
Yeah, these are parasitic. So mistletoe relies on other trees for its nutrients. It'll tap into to a trunk and kind of take the nutrients from the tree. Normally we find them on oaks, big oak trees. The Druids were big fans of mistletoe back in the day. We have writing from Roman sources about how they revered mistletoe. And
is mistletoe what kills Balder in the end?
Yes. Yeah, yeah. So our buddy Balder in Norse mythology.
which I think we briefly touched on with Dr. Nordvig in the.
I think, yeah, did we talk about Balder?
I think we very briefly. I think this is one of the things I knew about about Norse myth.
Myths. Well, the gist is Balder has dreams that he's dying. Something kills him, and he's scared. So he goes to his father Odin and his mother Frigg, and says, "Hey, I'm having these dreams. I don't know what to do." Odin travels to the underworld to talk to a prophetess, basically, and Frigg, in the meantime, goes to every thing on the planet: trolls, humans, rocks, different kinds of plants, bugs, birds, anything you can think of, and says, "I need you to make a pact that you will not hurt my son ever." And everyone says, "Of course, we love Balder. Everyone loves Balder. Balder is like the embodiment of the sun. He's like this beautiful, happy guy. All the gods love him." But she comes back. The gods have a big celebration because Balder is safe, and they they do this by throwing things at him, which is very pretty funny. Thor throws Mjolnir at him, and nothing happens. They throw axes at him. They shoot arrows at him. Everyone's laughing because they bounce off Balder. He's completely impervious to harm. Meanwhile, Loki, disguised as a woman, comes up to Frigg and says, "Oh, you got everybody to agree to not hurt Balder." And she goes, "Yeah, I talked to everybody, but I didn't talk to Mistletoe because, Mistletoe's so little and harmless. I didn't really want to bother him." So Loki decides to go to Balder's blind brother, Hoder. Hoder wants to get on the action. He wants to throw stuff at Balder too, because everyone else is having such a good time. Loki makes him a little dart out of mistletoe and says, "Here you go, Hoder. Get in on this. Toss this dart at your brother." And he does, and it kills Balder. Very sad. Yeah, the gods weep. There's a funeral. Thor
Loki!
gets so mad he tosses a dwarf into the ocean. It's a tough time for everybody. Yeah.
What's a dwarf do? Jeez.
It just got in the way, I guess.
I mean, sometimes that's how it is with God. Sometimes it's just like
he was
you're in
upset.
my way.
His little brother is gone,
Yeah.
And all of this kicks off Ragnarok, which is a whole another thing. But yeah. So mistletoe, unfortunately, is part of the downfall.
See, I feel like that's a story that should be in the MCU. Like, I get that the MCU Thor and Loki are just radically
So
different characters.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Loki is not Thor's brother in the mythology.
Right. But in the MCU, they've created this whole... I mean, the Marvel of the 1960s cannot get away from the "we were brothers, you and I" story. Like,
Yeah.
all of their really big, like, emotional character beats or function around the idea that, like, we were brothers and you betrayed me. Like, every single one. X-Men, Spider-Man, and
Right.
Thor, Loki.
Thor.
Oh, Derek's typing away with abandon. He says Balder is in the comics.
I don't remember what kind of role he has in the comics.
I'm sure he's, because there's several.
He dies.
He just dies. Is it by mistletoe?
He dies and goes to hell, and he marries Carmilla, the Norn queen. He's got a whole side plot that he's got in the Simonson Thor run from the 80s.
He does go to Helheim in the lore, but his wife, he's already married, and his wife, so distraught by his death, dies and goes with him. So no Norn queens. There are no Norn queens. There are only 3 Norns, and none of them are queens. They're like kind of like the Greek fates.
Oh, okay.
They weave the tapestry of your life, basically.
It just feels like you got 3 brothers: Balder, Thor, and Loki. And Loki, whether on purpose or by accident, kills the 3rd brother. Like, that's family drama. Oops.
Yeah, does Loki kill Balder in the comics, Derek?
Yes.
It is Loki, does it?
Loki. I haven't watched season 2 yet, but I hear it's very good.
It is great. We just watched, no spoilers, guys. We just watched the last episode, and it was fantastic.
I've just seen a lot of TikToks of that one shot of Hiddleston just looking at the camera with deep Hiddleston emotion. I just see that screen cap everywhere. I'm like, I better watch this before I get spoiled for what happens.
You're gonna get spoiled, so you gotta watch it. But
TV shows are hard for me right now because you have to like pay attention to them.
You can't do it. Your attention is...
I just often have to leave in the middle of a thing. There's a 45-minute show. I get 20 minutes and then I got to go do something, or a kid needs something. And plus, also, we've discussed at length that, like, if I'm going to consume a media, I want to feel good about it. So sometimes I feel bad halfway through a series because things are going bad. That makes me feel bad. And then the other thing being, like, I can't watch anything during the day that has any sort of anything above PG happening. You know what I mean? Like, and there's a lot of knife play anytime Loki is involved.
Oh.
And I don't want my son thinking knives are cool. He'll come across that.
Yeah, he's little. It's not time for that yet. Yeah.
He'll definitely have his edgelord phase where he thinks knives are cool, just because, like, that's life. But I don't need it to be when he's 5 and he has a 18-month sister.
A little sister running around. Yeah. He's gonna show his little sister the cool knives.
Check out my knives.
But
she does anything he does right now. She is so deeply in the I saw you do that, I'm gonna do that. That, like, he just would only need to pick up a knife for a single moment before she was like, me too. Anyway. Okay. But if we're gonna have Christmas Beetle be a beetle, how can we fit this butterfly? Okay, so hold on. I gotta re-cleanse my brain of
resets
of Norse nonsense. So it's feeding on the mistletoe.
Right.
It's laying eggs on the mistletoe. Those eggs are becoming little dudes.
Caterpillars.
Little dudes. Yes, that's the one. Caterpillars are eating the mistletoe. And then I assume eventually pupating on the mistletoe to become butterflies to begin this cycle all anew.
What's kind of neat is so mistletoe is toxic. We cannot ingest mistletoe, although I believe it is used in some remedies. I don't know how they use it, but it's toxic. I wouldn't do anything unless you're with a professional. But the caterpillars can ingest these toxins, and they're not good eats for birds. But what's kind of cool is
interesting. Well,
they don't engage in that flashiness that usually toxic bugs do, where they become like bright yellow or
aposematism.
Yeah,
yeah, 2 for 1.
Gold star for Amanda today.
I know I keep bringing that one up, and people are gonna be like, "Amanda, you've said it several times on this podcast correctly," but I always want to add an R. I always want to make it a prosematism for some reason.
Like just like prose, because you're used to poetry, maybe.
Prose. Okay, so caterpillars getting eaten by birds. That's like the classic story, right? The early bird gets the worm, although a worm and a caterpillar aren't exactly synonymous. But so are they nasty as caterpillars, or are they only nasty as butterflies?
They're nasty as caterpillars. You don't want to eat them. And they take about 20 days to go from larva to pupa or chrysalis. When butterflies, we usually call the pupa a chrysalis, which is very fancy. I don't know why butterflies get their own pupa
because they're
term.
fancy. Because they're fancy. People like them, so they get their own little thing.
Right. So we've got the 2 species, the greater purple hairstreak, which hangs out on the American mistletoe. And then we have Johnson's hairstreak, which is in the Pacific Northwest. It's a Western species. So
I could find this hair streak.
You could. And then send me photos, because I've never seen one in person. And they prefer the dwarf mistletoe species, which are smaller. But they pupate for about 16 days. Then they become adults. They mate around the mistletoe. They drink the nectar from its flower. Like, really, their whole life is involved in this one plant. Which is why it's important to keep biodiversity and to conserve nature, because you never know, if you get rid of that one thing, maybe a whole species is reliant upon it, right?
Yeah, you can't get rid of the parasitic mistletoe because we want to keep the butterflies.
Yeah, everyone loves butterflies.
No one ever suspects the butterfly.
And they have basic butterfly superpowers, flight,
Just
and
beauty.
Being gorgeous, and poison. You don't want to eat them. They're pretty gnarly.
So how do we fit this butterfly into our Christmas theme with our elf that is now a beetle?
I don't know actually. This one's a little bit weird because we wanted to cover some Christmassy things.
Derek's insisting on hometown hunk. But how okay. How
So the hairstreak is going to be the hometown hunk.
we may have to ditch our elf because I kind of want to make the hometown hunk the Christmas beetle and the career woman who needs to get back to her roots.
The hairstreak,
the hairstreak butterfly.
That actually kind of works for terrible Christmas movies.
She's become toxic with too much mistletoe. Do you happen to know why mistletoe is kissing? Do you?
Oh, that started. So mistletoe generally, and the tradition, it started around the 18th century, associated with good luck, and if you hung it in your home. But apparently, the kissing part comes from the Norse culture, the Old Norse. That's what History Channel has taught me. That men, if they walked by a woman under mistletoe, it would be good luck if she would give him a kiss. And if she refused the kiss, it was bad luck. So it comes from Scandinavian folks.
So many of our Christmas traditions do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it was also used to temporarily stop fighting. If you put up mistletoe, and all parties would have to adhere to peace until the mistletoe was taken down. So kind of like a little bit of a fight reprieve during the holidays.
There's several stories of that, of the Christmas truce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This probably, I'm not sure if this tradition stems from when the Scandinavian peoples were pagan and then moved into Christianity. So the Scandinavian countries were kind of the last countries to adopt Christianity. So I'm assuming this probably comes from that older tradition and then moved forward as their conversion period.
There's several things like that where they were like, "Hey, we want you to come celebrate our religion now because we've taken you over." Sorry, but they don't want to give up their like old traditions, right? Because who does? Who wants to suddenly?
Because your family's been doing this for 1,000 years. Yeah,
you love it. You know, you grew up doing this, so to kind of ease the way, they kind of adopted those things and gave them new meanings, new symbology.
But I'm a scientist, not a not a Norse historian. That's
listen to this right now, going, "Oh, they got it all wrong."
How dare they? He's shaking his fist at us in anger. But it is like a hobby of mine, so I know, I guess, a decent amount. So you're gonna draw Hairstreak as the beautiful Christmas
kind of drawing
woman?
them in like what I would assume is like a Hallmarky pose of like the mistletoe above, and then they're holding hands, looking at each other with love. I'm trying to decide like how butterfluey to make everyone. He's gonna be he has a Christmas sack to represent his beetle body, kind of similar to what we did with dung beetle.
I love it. It's gonna be very silly. So maybe not heroes, but very, very silly.
Maybe they're just Christmassy bugs for Christmas. Bugs need Christmas.
Or you keep the beetle as the elf, and you do one of each for the hairstreaks, because there's two of them that eat mistletoe. Do one of them as the hometown hunk, and the other one as the career woman who's coming home for Christmas to open a flower shop or whatever it was.
That's great.
All right. I gotta erase this sack. So we got a beautiful purpley bluey one. Oh, this one's all the way blue. Okay, we're gonna give her a cloak, a scarf in this case. A beautiful scarf.
I've uploaded pictures of the gray hair streak to the Discord. That one I think should be the career woman.
Yes. Okay, let me scroll up. Yes. That's the one. The gray one is the one we have around here as well.
Yes. Even though they're brown.
Yeah, very strange. She needs to find her color again because she's forgotten the magic of Christmas.
Yeah, she's got to find that purple hair streak. You have to give her a purple streak in her hair.
Oh, for sure. They're going to show that she's alternative. She's not a regular girl.
So, Amanda, do you guys celebrate Christmas? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Do you have any particular traditions that you do in your family that you enjoy?
We love zoo lights. We always make sure we make it to zoo lights, which is our local zoo, the Oregon Zoo. Decorates the zoo in lights. They're not the only ones to do it, but we love it.
Oh, that's great. And you guys go every year, and I bet the kids love it.
Yeah. We went to the zoo because we have a zoo membership. So we went to the zoo not that long ago for the squishing of the squash, which is when they give 300-pound pumpkins to the elephants and squish them.
So cute.
So we went for that in October, and they were already putting up the lights, because they got to put up
it probably takes a long time.
Yeah. No, we put up 1 million lights because you're counting each individual, light bulb. And they were already putting them up, and Ted was like, "Oh, I'm so excited! We gotta go!"
Aww.
Cousins are coming this year, which we always really love. So we're very excited.
Oh, that's wonderful! I love that.
Oh, we go see Nutcracker often. Some years we miss, but usually we go see Nutcracker. Derek, are you going to come to Nutcracker with us?
I haven't been invited.
Oh!
Oh.
Well, Mom likes to have it be a girly thing. So Derek came one year because his lady wife could not make it, and so he took her seat so there wouldn't be an empty seat. It was quite the experience for Derek. He had never before witnessed.
Is your wife going this year, Derek?
I don't know.
You're not uncertain of the plans.
We've had other things take precedent, like forefront of mind.
Makes sense.
I'm looking to see if I have any pictures of the Johnson's hair streak.
They're just very brown. They're
in my phone.
Yeah.
I may have seen them.
In my family, we do. Well, my mom makes Polish food for breakfast, which my dad loves because my dad is American, but he's Polish American. So she makes kielbasi and pierogi, and then like bacon and stuff and sausage for breakfast, and that's like the special Christmas meal. And then Christmas dinner later on. But Joe and I usually go to my in-laws for Christmas Day, and then that's regular American Christmas where no one is really Christian. We just have a tree. And,
yeah, it's just become the mainstream holiday.
Yeah.
I like Christmas time. I feel like as a teenager, Halloween was always my favorite, right? A little bit spooky, a little bit fun. And I still love Halloween. Love it. But as I get older, I feel like the Christmas timey things appeal to me more as I goo down into my most basic form of basic mom, a basic Beezy who loves basic things. There's
nothing basic about you, Amanda. Nothing.
I like giving my kids gifts and having them go, "Oh wow!" But more than anything, I like my kids experiencing the Christmassy things. We walk through a light tunnel and their eyes are so huge. That is magical, magical, and I love it so much.
I love to give.
Moms. It really is.
I love to give gifts. I love giving people presents. So I like picking the perfect gift that someone didn't even know they needed or wanted, and it makes me happy to give. So I love buying gifts for Joe, and I like to get gifts for my brother and my parents, and feels good. Feels good, man. Feels good. And I buy gifts for my cats because,
they're your children.
They're my babies. Although Finn got a new bed early because he needed one.
So Christmas beetle, he comes out at Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
And then this bug is our lady butterfly friend is coming out. Is she around at winter time, or is she just on
No,
the mistletoe?
she's on the mistletoe. So spring, summer, when they're in bloom. Much like the rest of bugs. So I guess we can mention what happens to bugs during the
that was going to be my next
Christmas
question.
season.
So, other bugs, it gets cold and they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked a little bit about like bees. The queen is the only one who really lives. She finds a cozy spot and she's hunkered down. And in the spring, she restarts the hive. She begins to have daughters aplenty.
Mm-hmm.
What are other bugs doing? Because surely a certain amount of them must survive, because otherwise they would cease. Like a certain percentage of them must be around. So where are they? Why am I not seeing them?
So
in the winter?
there are 3 stages that bugs it's called overwintering, will overwinter. They'll overwinter as eggs, they'll overwinter as larvae, 4, I guess. Some of them overwinter as pupa, or adults. So eggs, you'll see lots of eggs overwintering, mosquito eggs overwinter. Some mosquito larvae will overwinter too, depending on how warm the water remains. Pupa, all kinds of things will remain in the soil, mostly in the soil as pupa. And then adults, well, ladybugs. Ladybugs overwinter as adults, sometimes in your house where you don't want them.
Sometimes in a warm, cozy spot.
Yeah, in between your siding, if you have vinyl siding, you might find ladybugs in there. So they're usually either dead or overwintering in one of those parts of their life cycle. So they're around, but you're never going to see them out and about because it's too cold. Insects are called ectotherms, which means they get their heat from the outside environment. They cannot really produce their own heat, with some caveats. Bees, we know bees can shake their wing muscles to generate heat. But for the most part, a bug is the temperature of whatever is around it. So if it's too cold, they literally can't move. And they must go into what we call diapause. Diapause is bug hibernation. Does that make sense, Amanda?
It's okay. So I know that like bats go into what's called torpor. Which is like low key hibernation. So what's different between hibernation and diapause? Or are they it's just mammals hibernate and bugs diapause?
Yeah, it's mostly I think it has to do with how their systems sort of shut down for that time period. Our bodies are different and do different things. So it's more so this is a mammal thing and this is an invertebrate thing. Okay. But everything slows. Their metabolism slows down. They're creating some enzymes that help them survive the cold. They're packing on the pounds before, so they have high levels of lipids, which are fats in their systems to keep them going through the winter. Kind of like a bear. Bears usually have high fat storage as well.
Right. They get real juicy right before they go down, and they don't just common misconception. They don't just sleep for 3 months. They still wake up and do stuff. People always seem to think that they're just asleep for 90 days. Yeah, bears wake up and do stuff. They just are spending all their time being sleepy, but not necessarily asleep.
Well, we do have some that hibernate or rest during the summer months instead of the winter. That's like a whole other thing. That's estivation, which would probably be a topic for another podcast.
So is a cicada in diapause when it's like in the ground for 7 years?
No, they're just eating. They're kind of just eating slowly until they're adults. Okay. They're slow growers.
So the answer to where are all the bugs is that they've all found a cozy spot to be warm. Because, because if they get too cold, they'll literally become like little bug statues of like, help.
Well, think of Woolly Bear who freezes.
Yeah, he straight up freezes. That's wild to me. I know. Well, here we are, 30 episodes later, and I'm still like, woolly bears. What is the deal?
We love woolly bears. They're great.
Oh, I gotta give this guy flip flops. Hold on.
Does a hometown hunk always have flip flops? Is that how that works?
I have given him what I consider to be the most heterosexual outfit, which is
I like flip flops are a part of that.
Oh yes, because part of boy culture, which I am on the outside looking in, obviously, is wearing shorts when it's radically inappropriate to do so.
You mean
Why
when it's
are
cold?
you walking to school in shorts? It is December 17th. Put some pants on. So I've given him board shorts, which is the shorts that go just below the kneecap. I've also removed his shirt because I felt like that was also important to his hunkiness.
My brother wears. My brother's a bigger guy, and he wears shorts in December and a hoodie, and that is, he calls it his fat guy attire. His words, not my words. But
I call it, every time I see a youth, usually a youth, wearing usually a black hoodie with basketball shorts. I'm like, why do boys do this? It's like boys wearing hoodies and shorts. The other thing boys do is not ask each other about what's going on in their lives and then claim to be friends. I will never understand. Oh, Joe broke up with his wife of 10 years. Oh no, what happened? I don't know.
No idea.
I didn't ask any follow-up questions. Then how are you friends? I don't understand. How do you do this?
Oh, I have guy friends who aren't like that. They very much have nice relationships and talk to each other and are emotionally there for each other, which should be happening for everyone.
My husband is so good at the being there for you part. He is emotionally invested. He'd give you the shirt off his back. He has several times to his friends.
My brother is like friends. That. Yeah.
But you could not ask him what is going on in his friends' lives unless those friends volunteered that information to Cody. Like if he happened to be talking to them and they're like, oh, by the way, Cody, I'm moving or whatever. Oh, okay, great. Let me know when I can come over and help huck boxes into a truck for you. But unless they say that to him, Cody he does not prompt information. There's no like, hey, how's it going? What are you up to right now? I literally don't understand. I literally, because of my friends, like we're checking in with, maybe this is just girl world, but we're checking in on each other all the time. You know, we're like, hey, how's it going? Hey, you mentioned the other day you were thinking about maybe looking at housing listings. Let me know what
what's going on.
You know, so that by the time they're moving, I've known that they've been thinking about moving for 9 months. You know.
My husband does not like. I think I talk to his best friend more than he does.
Sometimes it's that way,
you know. It's just the way it is. But my brother is more like me. He's always checking in with his friends. How you guys doing? How are you feeling emotionally today? Do you need anything? You know, which is great.
And that's the thing is that like, if you tell, he just has this mentality of like, well, if they wanted me to know, they'd tell me. And I'm like, not always. Sometimes it's hard to start that conversation about something you're going through. So this is my PSA to listeners. Ask your friends how they're doing so that they have the opportunity to tell you without seeming, because some people don't want to seem like this needy little like, oh, and then give them the chance. Open the door. Say, look, I care about you. I want to take some of, even if it's just the emotional burden of hearing you vent to me about how much of a jerk your boss is. Tell me.
Ask your friends what their favorite bugs are. You should know that.
What their favorite bug is.
Who's your favorite bug?
Who's their favorite dinosaur? I always get things are like, as a kid, I had a favorite dinosaur. Now nobody asks, you know. Okay, I have popped a hometown hunk and a career woman into the Discord here.
Lovely. Absolutely lovely. I like the mistletoe.
Very basic beesies happening over here.
It's very Hallmark Christmas special.
He still has an Australian accent somehow, though.
He must. Sure. He absolutely must.
That's the hangers on from Christmas Beetle.
Fantastic. We love an Australian hometown hunk on Bugs Need Heroes.
Obviously. Like you need something to make it, unique. This week on the Hallmark Channel, they're Australian. She has to go to Sydney to seal a business deal.
Tell us your Christmas traditions. We're into it.
We want to know.
Or whatever December holiday you're celebrating down there. It's not always Christmas.
I wonder if the Yule has been burned down this year. Now I gotta look. The Christmas goat. So if you don't know, Kelly, there is a Christmas goat in Denmark.
Mm-hmm. They burn them. Right? Yeah, it's great.
The Yule goat gets burned down. It's not meant to be burned down. People just keep arsoning it.
It is like old pagan tradition though to burn an effigy. So I think it works. It's nice.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not Christmassy to burn it down. Oh, it's in Sweden. I'm sorry. I said Denmark, but it is in Sweden.
I believe there's the Yule in many parts of Scandinavia.
Right, but I think specifically the one I'm thinking of, the one that consistently gets burned down.
I'm waiting for Krampus. Waiting for Krampus to make an appearance.
It's so funny to me.
I've been good, so I'm not worried.
So many these cryptid, because I would qualify Krampus as a cryptid, have made their way into other wholesome things. The spooky girls will not rest until there is a creepy crawly thing in every holiday. They're like, oh, you celebrate Easter? What about your Easter Sasquatch? What are you talking about?
Well, Krampus is a little different because there are multiple Krampuses.
There are many Krampi.
Are connected to the lore of the season. I have a Krampus card I got from Rose City Comic Con at some point a few years ago. I think it was maybe my first Rose City Comic Con. And someone did beautiful art of Krampus, and I keep meaning to frame it and put it up around Christmas time.
Oh my gosh!
That's the kind of Christmas I'm into.
So I'm going to pronounce it wrong. The Gavla is the town, and they have a running, on the Wikipedia page, a running list of the years it died and how it died. It was dating back to 1966. Let me see how many times it survived. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So they've been doing it since 1966, and it's survived without damage 16 times. Every other time
it's gone up in flames.
Yeah, they have a list. They have method of destruction: fire, smashed to pieces, glass, stolen.
Oh,
stole the whole goat. It's a big goat.
It's a big goat, right?
I'd say, I'm sure they have the actual measurements on here somewhere, but it's big. It's got to be 20 feet tall. I'd say 20 by 20 easily. And so stealing it would be impressive. I gotta say, you've taken the list to another level here by stealing it. But mostly it burns down.
That's great.
I
wish we had a big Yule Bog. I have two little Yule goats I put out for Christmas. They're made of
we've got a couple Yule goats
straw.
That we put out.
They're very cute. But my cats try to eat them, so I have to put them in different places.
Yeah, I used to make them with the kids when I was an art teacher. We used to make them at Christmas time because it's a pretty easy craft, but it's a fun little cultural one of hey, this is because I was specifically an arts and world culture teacher.
Oh, okay.
So it's a fun little thing, and I just they love goats because kids love goats.
Goats are adorable. Yeah,
goats
are
they're
adorable
so
little
cute,
menaces.
But also, they're just menaces. They have it's goats and geese are just out to cause chaos wherever they can. There's a reason why it's the Goat Simulator and the Untitled Goose Game. And that's the ones they pick. It's because of those guys. I think you could probably
do it with a crow.
You could probably do it with a crow. I think you could add a crow to that list. I think you could guest star a raccoon. I don't think raccoons purposely cause havoc the same way. They're just trying to do what they do.
Yeah.
And havoc happens to be what they cause. Whereas a goat wants the chaos. The goat is seeking the chaos.
I think in the bug world, that would be covered by yellow jackets.
Yes. Aggro, they're seeking to damage. That is what they want to cause.
Well, now I'm looking forward to the Christmas time, Amanda. Nicely done.
Yeah. Thank you. That's what I'm here for. I will come to your house and burn down all your goats.
No, my goats.
Or I will just get a box of big old beetles and set them free in your house.
Oh, the Christmas beetles.
I wonder how much of a menace they are. Again, Australia, please talk to us.
They're a bit of a eucalyptus menace. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like they're around. And the bugs are where you find them. As always, the bugs are where you find them. But I wonder how much of a menace they are. The way that, like, sometimes ladybugs will be a menace here, but usually not too bad. All right.
Happy holidays, everybody. Thanks for being here with us. Whatever holiday you celebrate or don't celebrate.
Or don't celebrate. If you just need to take a day where you sit on your couch with a blanket around you, drink
some hot cocoa,
chocolate, put some whipped cream on there, put some sprinkles on there. It's fun. You know, who's to judge you? Not me. I like to stir my cocoa with a candy cane.
Ooh, nice.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. They have these things where it's a chocolate spoon, and then you stir with the chocolate spoon.
And it makes hot chocolate.
Very fun. I love when a device is introduced to my regular eating things. So whatever holiday you celebrate out there, or don't, take some time to snuggle yourself up.
Get cozy.
And check in on your friends. And let them check in on you. Don't think that they don't love you, because they love you the same way we love you.
We love you. We do.
We love you. All right, that's all. Goodbye. Bugs Need Heroes was created by Derek Conrad and Kelly Zimmerman. Hosted by Amanda Niday and Kelly Zimmerman. Bugs Need Heroes is produced and edited by Derek Conrad, with some assistance from Chelsea Bodden and a few cats. Character art is by Amanda Niday. Our music is Ladybug Castle by Rolemusic. Got a bug question? Email us at bugsneedheroes@gmail.com. Check us out at bugsneedheroes.com, and most of the socials are under Bugs Need Heroes. Thank you to the Entomological Society of America for the Chrysalis Fund grant. If the bro code didn't exist, I think John would already be Cody's stepdad. So.
That would make Christmas kind of weird, right?